when we start to consider the user permissions, we are going to start with a blank sheet. No one has access to this at the moment. Now I'm going to put in some data related to me so that we can look at who is added. So I'm going to add a person. Now in the center you'll see the add button, cancel. I enter the email address of the person that I want to add. Now that's my email address. And then I'm going to decide about the level of security that this person is going to be able to access the data with. Now, once these people are entered, I save the table, and therefore it's gone white, and therefore these are saved. Now, they're not invited at this point, so if I want to invite this member of staff, I press invite. I am then going to write that I need to see myself. I've invited this person. Now, I don't have to write a message. If I press the send invite, an email will go to that person. They will get a link to then access the app. Now, you'll need to do this to everybody that is accessed to access the app. So I send the invite and an email will be sent. It is advisable if that email is not immediately evident that they check junk mail, because sometimes because it's got a link in it, it might be sent to junk. Now it might be necessary, once we've entered members of staff onto this table, to remove them. Maybe a member of staff has left the school, or they're no longer involved in the analysis. If that is the case, once the white table is seen, if I click on a member of staff, you will notice at this point that a delete button has appeared. So now, if I press the delete button, I will get a command block will ask me, are you sure you want to delete the selection? If I press yes, then that member of staff is removed. That's standard across the application. If that's what you want, then that is what can be achieved. That command is not undoable. Now there are a number of permission levels. I'm just going to talk through them. You're going to need to decide for the range of people that you have on your staff as to which that they might have. Standard user access is exactly what it says. It gets you to all of the basic parts of the application. You can enter data, you can review data, and so standard access is the normal one that you will give to staff. Read-only is for people that you don't want to be able to access the data tables or change data. They will be reviewing the dashboards, but not going any further than that. They will be able to see some of the table data, but they certainly won't be able to change it. User admin, the user administrator, is the person that has access to this table. They don't have access to other parts of the app. You might give this to one person who is going to be managing just the additional elements of changing and adding and removing users. So I'm going to give that to me to start with. Now, because I'm making a decision about what I can do, I'm going to be the user administrator, but then I also need to have a level of access to other parts of it. So I might be a standard user as well as having access to the user admin. The user admin, access to this table, will be able to edit and change members of staff that can use the app, but standard access will be given to the person who is going to be entering data on within a specific area. Now, you saw that there was some more. If a member of staff is only going to enter data on curriculum, so they're only looking at subjects and they're only looking at the curriculum model, then that would be the area that they would get to. So if a standard user would be able to get to staff and be able to get to finance and some of the background data entry, curriculum will only be able to access the curriculum information, certainly not staffing levels. Governance is for your governing body. It's a little bit more than just read-only, because there is in the report section some ability to communicate and around some of the strategies that are being employed and ask questions and respond. So for governors, I would put them in as at a governance level. Now that might be also the trust board, and it might be trustees and directors that might have access at that level, but that's for governance level conversation. Now the last two are relating to finance and staffing levels. Because we now have the ability to predict costs of staff over the next 3 years, you will need to be able to put in the actual cost of all the staff, which might include some sensitive data about senior leaders that you might not want to be shared broadly. So for someone to be able to see the confidential and projection level, finance confidential projection will give someone the access to be able to see that financial prediction of costs of specific members of staff. You'll still be able to see the charts that give the top level analysis, but this is the granular level data about what scales people are on and what the maximum scales they are on. Now, you may want some member of staff to enter that data, but doesn't have a view of the actual value of them, so they might be putting in scale points, and to do that, you will have a finance administrator who will be able to enter level data, but without seeing the actual values. So these two are a more confidential end. One is to enter data, one is to review confidential projection data about the value and cost of members of staff. So we have a number of levels. At a standard level, that will get you access to the things you need to, but they won't be able to see the finance confidential projections. Read only won't be able to see the tables and access the tables. User admin to add this data. Curriculum only, governance, and then finance.